the Director of Sustainability in the new Murabba. He is a seasoned sustainability professional with experience in developing and implementing comprehensive sustainability strategies and green frameworks and initiatives. He has a track record of successfully leading high-profile projects such as the new Murabba. He's among the team and has been an international delegate in prestigious sustainability conferences before. He's committed to leveraging human capacity for sustainable development and creating value for our planet.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
حياك يا دكتور. أيضا we have also Waleed AlGhamdi. He's the Director of Sustainability at Roshan. He is a humble character, but a well-versed, experienced talent in the field of architectural design, energy efficiency, sustainability, and building performance. He worked in both the United States and Saudi Arabia on a wide range of work settings, from a large global leader in the AEC industry to a small 8-person, highly specialized niche startup. Here to speak of his journey and hands-on global experience, Waleed. So we welcome you.
Thanks, pleasure to be here.
And we have Dr. Samir. Dr. Samir Thabet, or Samir Thabet, head of the Sustainability Department at Nesma and Partners. Dr. Samir oversees the Corporate Sustainability Strategy, the ESG, and Carbon Footprint Reduction Strategy, and he is providing his knowledge and consultancy services on several ongoing projects. In 2021, he obtained the PhD in Sustainable Development and Diplomacy to address the emerging global challenges shaped by climate change. Recently, Dr. Samir received the Honorary Doctorate of Humanities from the University of Entrepreneurship and Technology, State of Delaware in USA. And here to share his insights, Dr. Samir, we also welcome you.
It's my pleasure with all the... Thank you for having me.
So again, I believe this is a great topic. And like I've mentioned, the timing couldn't be better. We're halfway through in implementing the Vision 2030 initiatives, and of course, achieve the carried responsibility of trying to deliver targets to enhance and develop and give to our responsibility and share to meet targets around sustainability. So sustainability at large in Saudi Arabia, or generally, sustainability is a key part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, as the nation also launched a dedicated program to reach the net zero future by 2060, with, of course, a commitment to clean energy and sustainability. The Kingdom's Vision Goals is also targeting the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And I am interested to hear from you on this connection between the Vision 2030 and its programs, and how it links and connects with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So what specific sustainable development initiatives has Saudi Arabia implemented, and how does it link with the nation's vision for 2030 targets and align with sustainable development goals? And what role does sustainability play in the country's long-term development plans? Dr. Sultan, I'd like to hear from you first, and perhaps maybe I'd ask other joiners.
Thank you, Muhammad. And at the beginning, I would like to thank Dr. Muhammad Al-Sarf and the team for these efforts. It's really an appreciated efforts. Regarding to your question, as you know, and as you mentioned, the Saudi 2030 vision is already established the roadmap for sustainability. in the kingdom, diversifying economy, putting environmental issues at the heart of each and every single initiative and project across the kingdom. And the vision itself is connected very well to the global agenda, the SDGs. So it is already a part of a global efforts on the national level. And to delve deeper in the sustainability of the kingdom, we have the Saudi Green Initiative, which is the compass toward achieving carbon neutrality by 2060, or having 50% of our energy mix from renewable resources, or planting 10 billion trees. So if you go to Egypt across the kingdom, you will see the sustainability is part of it, whether it's plantation, whether it's carbon decarbonization, whether it's any other sustainability related initiatives, energy consumption reduction, water conservation, you name it. So to conclude, this is under construction. It is under application across different sectors across the kingdom.
Excellent, Dr. Sultan. Before I proceed to the next question, please, Dr. Waleed, so Dr. Samir and Waleed, if you have anything to share.
Mr. Waleed, please.
I was going to defer to you, Dr. Sam.
Okay. See, I think that the even recent the sustainability idea, sustainability concept was raised here, not recent, maybe 4 or 5 years back, but the progress what I saw, it's something amazing, starting from the government, where they put policies. Wherever you go, just check each let's say minister website, you will find they have the sustainability strategy, objective, KPIs, so on, so, and goes even toward to the private sector. We have in each sector or in each segment, there is sustainability objective, there is sustainability roadmap to achieve the neutral carbon 2060. For us, we as a private sector, as a contractor, where we have difficult to achieve some, we are following the BIF for our net zero 2050 neutral zero. I cannot say net zero, but we have prepared a roadmap to 2050 neutral carbon detailed roadmap and how we can achieve it. Wherever you go as a contractor, let's say, or construction industry, you will see that support come from all levels, from government, developer, then consultant. They have identified the requirement, just matter of put the right people, put the strategy and achieve it. And it's not that, I believe, difficult to do it. The sustainability here progresses, improving. And something, you know, I cannot very fast. We have a lot of professional people like our colleague here who is leading and taking the flag and taking the kingdom to the next level. But I have just one comment, Mr. Abdulrahman. We are not competitor here. We work towards one goal. I don't like to work as a competitor. No, everyone teach other, everyone learn from other, and we have one target at the end.
Wonderful. I think this, of course, drives us to the following question. The kingdom is enriched with opportunities. Of course, also is enriched with the biodiverse environment. And within this ecosystem, this ecosystem is sort of faced with a number of challenges. We're facing a rapid growing urbanization and an inclining population, and we're seeing this friction between the biodiverse ecosystem that is now promoted for preservation and natural assets protection. So I'd like to know, perhaps, Waleed, and maybe we revert back to you, Dr. Samir, what are key challenges that you are now addressing around, what are some of the challenges and unique considerations that Saudi Arabia now is facing in implementing sustainable development initiatives?
Sure. Yeah. So I'll take a stab at that at the beginning. So thanks, Abdulrahman and my esteemed co-panelists, and thanks for us PSA for the invitation, and Dr. Muhammad Asraf. I think just one thing I'd like to start with is, although we do have our set of unique challenges and issues to deal with, I think more and more as I look at what Saudi Arabia has done and has been doing for the past 5 years or so, or more, since the Vision 2030 was launched, but even before that, I often come to the realization that we actually, there's a lot of good bones and good direction that was set, specifically when it comes to social and labor laws and social issues. When we talk about the rights of employees or the social equity in the workforce, I think we rank pretty high up. I think one of the challenges for us, this brings me to the challenge, is to make sure that is applies across the board and is trickled down from the highest to the lowest pay ranks, and that is enforced and complied with consistently. For example, when we look at issues related to labor rights, sick leave, maternity leave, healthcare, and then access to education, and overall the investment in the human capital of people in Saudi. I think historically we've been doing pretty great. I think the challenge was that this applies equally to everybody in the market, and that would be one of the challenges that we have. This brings me, I think, to another issue here, that there's perhaps sometimes a perception that the issue of sustainability doesn't apply to us. It applies to other people elsewhere. That applies either to issues related to society at large, equity, equality, inclusion, or to environmental issues, like the risk that comes from climate change and the increase in intensity and frequency of certain climate events. We do have our own challenges here. Perhaps maybe we're a bit used to it. Maybe the investments over the past 30 or 40 years have put us in a position where it doesn't affect our daily lives as much as perhaps heat waves do in Europe or hurricanes do in the North America. But that doesn't mean that that's not a challenge that we need to reckon with. I think there's a few things that I face regularly that I'd like to perhaps highlight. One would be the availability and the sharing of data and how well we are progressing. I just recently got a question about is there any information about how the Saudi building code adoption helped us improve the quality of life and overall sustainability of the built environment in Saudi, given that it was enforced, or it came into effect last year for the residential sector. That's not something that we have a lot of In addition to that, manpower and retaining talent, that's an issue. There's a lot of competition for top talent in our business now. In addition to that, I think the agility and the adaptability of our policies and regulations. Sometimes we have to deliver very quickly, but we know sometimes we need to comply with some antiquated regulations that perhaps are not fully aligned with sustainability outcomes, and that's something we have to deal with, and so we have to make the best of it as we go. So those are some of the challenges.
Let me also ask you in this line of discussion, is there an opportunity to collaborate with other parties? I think one of the great things that has happened in Saudi is this strong link between the private sector and the public sector, and also like spinning off initiatives. Dr. Samir was speaking of the huge role that PIF is undertaking. So let me understand from you, like how does Saudi Arabia prioritize environmental sustainability alongside economic growth? And how does the Saudi government collaborate with private sector companies and international partners to drive sustainable development?
Sure. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I think in one example that I'm familiar with, where the government had an engagement or a partnership with other government entities, there's a recent exercise that was done or conducted between CAPSARC and the Saudi Energy Efficiency Center, or SEEC, trying to come up with a new set of guidelines for urban development that improves the mobility and energy efficiency of the built environment. This was an engagement between government entities and sister government entities. Another example would be between us at Roshan as a private entity and the government, where we engaged. I mean, there was an engagement between the Ministry of Energy, ourselves, some suppliers and manufacturers, and some standard organizations or regulators, so that we can perhaps get out of the bottleneck of approving some building materials for use or for commercial adoption that would otherwise take a very lengthy process. And that takes through some stakeholder engagement and project management and collaboration. A third one would perhaps come in the form of the private sector collaborating with each other, and there's some higher level, I think, financial planning that has to go into this, where perhaps a manufacturer or vendor will be able to produce material or equipment that is more environmentally favorable with the return of maybe guaranteed supply or guaranteed offtake, if that makes sense. So there are a bunch of examples of this, but it takes a lot of not hand-holding, but rather a lot of engagement and stakeholder management. If the overall objective is met, is clear, then it can be met when everybody's on the same page.
And this is something that Dr. Samir was talking about earlier, not to have competition, so that the public sector has a clear role and the private sector has a clear role, and then they share a certain responsibilities and then work towards achieving it. Dr. Sultan and Dr. Samir, I'd like to know from you what initiatives or policies do you know of that are being implemented to promote sustainability, and we'll be more specific here in certain modes around the infrastructure, for example, in transportation, renewable energy, water management practices in Saudi Arabia that you think is worthy to share with us today.
Thank you, Abdulrahman. Actually, there are a lot of strategies that a number of policies cascaded from. Like there is a national transportation strategy that enhances the use of electrical vehicles, different modes of transportation, like buses, metros, to enhance the sustainability of the transportation sector. And these are being
We lost you, Sultan. Dr. Samir, maybe you pick it up from here.
Yes. See, Dr. Sultan, excuse me. I think.
Further, Dr. Samir.
Before, just to see the initiative, I have a few points for challenge that we face in the market now. Dr. Sultan, sorry, but okay, just I want to highlight about those challenges. Yes, first of all, unify of ESG or sustainability framework.
Projects across the.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, we need strong coordination among governmental and non-governmental institutions to ensure synergy rather than duplicate of effort. We last couple of months we received ESG framework or rating from 3 entities, which big entity here, where they ask different question to rate our ESG performance. I think I prefer to have it unified with all. Then it's good for the industry. Measuring of data of the performance of each organization or entity, either government or non-government, and I seen improvement on that, but the analysis to link it with the vision, I think still we have, it needs some improvement. And the knowledge, I want to thank Dr. Muhammad, because this platform is sharing knowledge. We need to more share knowledge, our expertise with others, with the students, because I have recently we interviewed one engineer, but they don't know about green building. This initiative or shared knowledge is very important. Now for the
this is important, Dr. Samir, to discuss, and I think it leads us to our final question. To what extent is public awareness and engagement is emphasized now in Saudi and around sustainable development, and what efforts can be made to educate, involve citizens and professionals more? Maybe I'll direct the question, and perhaps we end with this, Dr. Waleed. We're running out of time. Sorry, Waleed.
أنا ولا Sultan?
Waleed.
Go
ahead, Waleed.
طيب. So yeah, I think there's a challenge with us when it comes to public awareness. Perhaps part of which is our fault, and our fault meaning the sustainability community. I think because the issue is so complex and we haven't figured out all the answers yet, we have a tendency to complicate the answer, and so getting people on board is not always streamlined and easy. However, like I mentioned earlier, the challenge is that there's a perception that this doesn't apply to us in one aspect, but then on the other side, the overarching message out of Vision 2030 is that this is indeed aligned with sustainable development, with the UN SDGs in particular. And the fact that we are witnessing an economic boom, in addition to addressing environmental and social issues at the same time, it gives us this opportunity to link the economic output with the social and environmental agenda. So far, I think we can do a bit better, refraining a bit. I'm a bit concerned about greenwashing, and so that's perhaps clear in how I'm addressing the question, but there remains some work to be done on this side, specifically when it comes to green claims.
Thanks, Waleed. Dr. Sultan, good to have you back. If you want to share a few ideas around awareness, please feel free to. Or Dr. Samir, if you'd like to share last insights.
Yes, we have.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I have issue with the convener.
All right, understandable, Dr. Sultan. Let's take it to Dr. Samir, and we'll have to close.
Okay, for the awareness, at least in what we are doing in my department, I teach a lot of junior people about sustainability. I tried to last year to contact one local university to give them free, let's say, topics or free lectures about sustainability lead. Even I prepared some material for them. It doesn't work. I have to again have more contact. We have to, I think, to focus on students. We have to focus on university. Bring them all those young people who's expected to be supporting the vision in a few years. They have to know the sustainability requirement in all aspects.
Okay. Dr. Samir, thank you so much. Dr. Sultan, Waleed, thank you for your participation. As closing remarks, I'll repeat some of the great things that I've heard on this session. I think that Saudi Arabia is leading great initiatives. Dr. Sultan talked about the 10 billion trees as to achieve plantation and decarbonization across the ecosystem. We heard from you, Waleed, on how great Saudi Arabia is performing in terms of equity, opening workforce opportunity for all. We talked about some of the challenges, especially sharing data across multiple sectors, and I completely agree with that. We've examined few of great examples, such as the collaboration with PIF companies such as Roshan, or collaboration between public and semi-public with CAPSARC. And lastly, we've heard, I think this is a great final remark on our session, that we have not figured out all the answers yet, but a collective investigation can lead to a holistic answer. And I'd like to leave you with that. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to allow me to moderate this session and to network and connect with you. I'm also very excited to continue discussing with my colleagues and professionals in the upcoming talks. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.